God, we're live, guys. Okay. Per usual, I am not 100% ready. We are going to be coloring in this book today. But first, let me get my iPad set up really quick here. I've been out at the other campground that had icky internet, so I haven't been streaming because of that. Whoops, we don't want that close. That's close enough, I think. So we're back out at the other campground that is not so far out of town that the Wi-Fi is bad. So it's been a minute since I've streamed. Hopefully I'll get some people coming in. We had started, hey Sherry, we had started on one of the last live streams. Not quite set up here yet. We had started coloring this one right here. I wonder why there's a shadow on the page. Did I not turn this light on? There we go, that's better. And I'm almost finished with that, as you can see. And it kind of gave me the bug for these fine liners and also for this coloring book. So there's another page that I want to color from it. And I wanted to get started on it today. I've got to finish this one. Got a little bit left in the corners to do. And then that will be done. Okay, let me sit down. So yeah, that took about a month to color. A little over a month. And technically I'm still not done, so just had to color those little pieces. But what I did in the corner here, this rainbow effect thing, I learned what colors. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. But I learned like what I like the rainbow effect together. I like this orange kind of red blue thing. I love the colors with this that I did. I used every color on this one from the Stabilo, which this is the swatch chart that I'm going by. Actually, this is the way that it goes. I used every color except for these two rows. I didn't use these because I didn't want to. But it gave me a really good idea of how these colors work together and whatnot. So I picked another page from this book. Stick that over there that I want to color, and I'm going to go ahead and I love this book, Intricate Patterns. It's by Misa Digital Creations. It does say in here, I was talking with Sawyer, my significant other. It does say in here, each pattern in the book is originally designed and 100% human hand drawn by the author with utmost care and has no AI intervention. Because he was asking me if these were created AI. And according to the book, no. So, but this is the masterpiece that we're going to get started on. I know it looks quite similar to this one, but when they're right next to each other, you can see that they are in fact different. I'm going to go about coloring this one a little bit different than just starting in the center as well. So yes, they look similar, but when they're right next to each other, they do not. And like I said, I've already got a color scheme. So we're going to go ahead and remove this page from this book, which I do that by, here, let me go out a little so you can see. I just bend the book on the spine. Make sure it's as bent out as possible. I don't really know technical terms here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back side of that, because eventually I'm going to color all of these. This book, it's pretty easy to get the pages out. And then I'm just going to start pulling it out. Pretty simple. Simple, simple. Okay. I know this one is so cool too. I thought about doing this one, but we're gonna proceed with the other one. Like I said, I'm obsessed with the fine liners. I'm obsessed with this book, so I'm going with it. This one I wanted to do that rainbow theme on because I think it looks super cool, and I think it's gonna look really, really cool. I'm gonna refer back to this piece quite a bit to get my colors. I know that, like I said, I'm going to color this one a little bit differently because I'm seeing different things in it. I'm actually going to start with the background right here first. And I'm going to color that. Like I said, I picked out my colors with these fine liners. They're right here. I'm not going to make... these are about the colors that I'm going to use. I know that's quite a bit of colors, but that's about what I'm going to use. I might change that. Look at me. Or not me organizing them. Those are the colors I'm going to use. And like I said, I'm going to start with that inner that inner ring first. Is how I wanted to do it with these colors. These are the Stabilo fine liners, the 88 point. I don't know if that can be seen or not, hopefully. But those are what we're going to be using. So let's pop these bad boys over to the side here. Oh, right. I got to make my little index card. What is today? September 7th. So I put down when I start things. And this is Intricate Patterns. This is volume 4. I write down I wish these were labeled on the back with like numbers so I could, but I'm just gonna label this one the rainbow because that's the colors I'm using. And I mark down my colors that I use as I use them in case. So this one is number 30, the Stabilo 0.88. And instead of doing like a little color swatch, I'm just going to write the number down. And actually, I'm going to write down here that I'm using the Stabilos so I know what I'm using. All right. Let's get in here a little bit. And hopefully it's such a busy pattern that I feel like the camera sometimes has a hard time focusing on it. But like I said, I don't know why this center part is calling me the most, but it is. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I want to color it orange, so that's what I'm going to do. Typically, I think you can color however you want, of course, but I think most people, when they're coloring mandalas, they start in the center, which makes sense. I usually start with whatever feature I want to color first, is usually how I handle it. But once I started like kind of seriously coloring mandalas, I started from the inside because that makes sense, and it there's a purpose to mandalas, right? They're meditation pieces. They can be, and so coloring them in a specific way it, is part of the process. But I don't meditate like normal people do, probably. Not that I meditate that much, but I ruminate. No, I'm just kidding. I used to ruminate a lot, but I don't anymore. Not that much. There's nothing worse than just looking back on the past and thinking how you would have done something different, or I think that's what rumination means. You know what? We're going to do vocabulary and coloring. Let's do that. I'll get thousands of subscribers. It'll be a huge hit. Oh my gosh, that'd be funny. I quite like that. Sherry says it looks fine. Thank you, dear. I think it's going to look really good. I think what I'm going to put on top of that is a light blue color. Put that in there so you guys know what I'm using. Yes, I quite like this. So Sherry, I'm sure the weather has changed there. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I'm sure of that because I'm not, but it's certainly changed here. It's the high is going to be 67 today. It was 51 this morning, and I think tomorrow it's going to be in the 40s, but it's still getting up into the mid 80s during the afternoon, so that's been fun. There's always a time in Cincinnati where you're gonna have to wear four different seasons of clothes in the same damn day. But it's actually going to get almost to the 90s. I think either later this week or sometime next week. So that's funny. There's always that last push of summer. It's not quite ready to give up yet. You've been in the hundreds again? Oh my god. And I was following all the Burning Man stuff. I know that's not anywhere near where you're at, but the desert, you know. Not that you're in the desert because you're not. But it looked pretty hot out there, and it's always funny to be in a different part of the states and be cold and other people are still warm. When I lived in Phoenix, we would watch the weather, and they would talk about how it was snowing in parts, and we were like, what, it's snowing? How is that possible? It's 100 degrees here in February. What's happening? I really like the way this is looking. I'm gonna show. Let's put the blue on top of this and see. I'm also gonna try to do a little bit of detailing, so we'll see how that goes. I want to do more with markers. So that's the number 11. I've used this color quite frequently. I think blue will look good on top of that. Yeah. You're going back to more seasonal temps, the 70s. You're 4 hours from the Reno area. Maybe that's why I was thinking I know 4 hours can be a huge difference in weather though, right? Especially from California to Nevada. I used to want to go to Burning Man, but then I found out that the tickets are like $1,000 or something, and yeah. Then that quickly turned into I don't really care. Plus, it seems um, a little too naked for my taste. Yeah, it's different around every mountain, exactly. Now, as I'm coloring these, I'm seeing that they're little shapes, so I probably should have paid a little bit more attention to that before I colored all of it blue, because maybe I could have done something cool. Like I might do something with the overlapping vines here. I don't want it to be too busy though, because I want the focus to be on the color scheme, kind of, if that makes sense. The last one is definitely way too busy, and I knew that was going to happen because I wanted to use every marker, and out of 65 markers I used at least 50 of them, if not a little bit more. Yeah, I think the other ones I might do the green color that I've picked out for myself here. So that way there's a little bit of variety in this. I don't want it to be too busy though. Like, what do you mean? It's already busy. So yeah. I think that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the orange. I just started I don't know if I can do this or not, but probably not, but most people I'm trying to think how I should begin this topic. Because a lot of people don't like this person, or they feel certain ways. It's Paris Hilton came out with her second album, and I was listening to it. She just had another video that dropped. It's pretty funny, actually. I don't really. I like techno or whatever, but I don't typically sit around and listen to it too much. I might have like a song interspersed throughout my playlist that I'm listening to, but I can't just sit around and listen to techno music, and that's kind of what her vibe is. But I love that she's got all this stuff going on, and people give her so much hate just for being herself. It's funny that you can feel sympathetic for somebody that you don't even know and who's stinking rich just because they seem like they're genuinely a good person. Whatever that is worth. But I was thinking about playing some of that, and then I thought, well, no, because I'll probably get hit with a copyright thing, and I don't want that to happen. And then I thought, but Paris would be okay with it because she'd be like, oh, that's cool. She wants to use my music in the background of her coloring videos. And then we're going to veer off into 10-year-old territory of me. Be like, so Paris Hilton will see my videos and she'll like them and like she'll give me lots of money to get more coloring stuff. You know, like when you're a kid, you're like, I'm going to go to the concert and the lead singer that I've been obsessed with for 2 months is going to see me in the crowd and fall in love and pull me up on stage and invite me backstage and I'm going to go run away with them and yada, yada, yada. I don't know if fantasies like that are healthy or not. I guess it depends on the amount that you do. Like how many of us sat looking outside of car windows sadly and pretended like we were in a movie scene, you know, with whatever songs playing on the radio. The good old days. I think a lot of us miss being kids though, and that's one of the reasons coloring is so great because it's a, you know, it's a seemingly a child activity, and so it reconnects you, I think, with your that kind of innocent feeling, if that makes any sense. When you didn't have any cares in the world but just put color in little white boxes that are shaped like things. It's windy out today. We got some jet stream activity going on. That's why it's so cold. Maybe. I have to remember to not hold my pen tightly. There's no need. And I don't want to tire out my hand unnecessarily. I think this is why I like using the fine liner so much, is it's just putting color down and it's nice. Rain Art 355. One thing's for sure, the markers we had as kids weren't as nice as now. Maybe they were, but like our parents did not buy them for us for obvious reasons. I know I feel like I actually have a set of, I don't even know, like maybe they're Crayola, the kind that we used. I was a crayon girl for sure. I wish that, you know, I remember coloring like the Care Bears. Oh my god, I colored the hell out of the Care Bears, y'all. That's showing my age. I'm 50, but I colored the Care Bears. I colored My Little Pony. I remember coloring lots of unicorns, rainbows, suns, grass, trees, Winnie the Pooh. I colored a lot of the Winnie the Pooh coloring books. Um, I probably had some Barbie coloring books. But I just remember using crayons, and we lived, I was born in Indiana. Oh, my boyfriend's home. Sorry, I just looked up and I saw the car. Oh, that makes me happy. And you could leave your crayons outside, you know, it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. I don't know. But we moved to California and we left our crayons outside and they all melted. And I remember that was so awful. And Mom wouldn't get us new crayons because apparently we were dirt poor. Couldn't even afford a, dollar box of crayons. But I think it was more about like, don't leave your stuff outside for it to get ruined kind of lesson than it was, I can't afford a dollar box of crayons, right? But I don't remember using markers a lot, probably because they bled through to the other side of the page, right? So we didn't want to use those. I remember my sister and I got this big, huge poster. I actually have it. She sent it. She sent it to me a while back. Let's do some of those blue just to kind of switch it up here. Let's do some of those circles. And we used markers on that. I think I should pull it out. It's in storage right now, though. Everything is in storage. Well, not everything. I have all of my coloring stuff. I will make room for the important things. We're actually doing kind of a cleaning up and a rehashing of things before we head out west. We're going to spend the winter in Dallas, or part of it, and then if I get my way, we're going to be in Phoenix. Hopefully by January, y'all. Mark my words. Don't say nothing. Did I just color that off screen? Sorry. You used the Crayola crayons and pastels? Yeah, I remember we had like Cray-Pas, right? I don't remember ever calling anything pastels. I do remember Cray-Pas though. I'm sorry I colored that little circle off camera there. I didn't mean to. I think I got this one in frame though. I know. So as soon as I started coloring as an adult, I was, nostalgic for crayons, and I used them and I was like, what is this? I can't color with this. Baby. I didn't see if you had texted me back.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't.
You're live now?
I'm live, baby. I'm live.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. I'm in Fairfield. I'm not ready to come home.
I didn't.
I
The
know.
next one. The next one says.
You're 30 minutes away, I see.
I don't know why it said not.
I know. Why would it say that?
Not.
Our phones are trying to break us up?
Right.
Is this some kind of high school drama?
Right.
Yeah, I started this new picture. It's going good. Sherry's here. I'm sure she would say hello.
Oh yeah, okay. I recognize that.
Yeah.
Person's name.
She's in the mountains in California, up north, I believe. Like by Reno too. She's 4 hours from Reno.
Reno, okay.
So if we manage to ever get up to the Pacific Northwest, which we've got tons of campgrounds we can go to over there.
Oh really?
Sherry and I are gonna meet up and we're gonna color.
Sounds good, baby.
I love you.
You're starting on
that crazy one.
Crazy one.
Yes, that's right.
That eyes like an eagle.
This one's so much easier than that other one, though. I don't know if it's because I'm starting in like the middle of the picture, but it's easier. It's nice out, yeah?
Yeah, maybe I'll just sit outside in the sun there for a minute.
Yeah?
With my computer.
You might want to be a little bit in the shade, though, because of the glare, right?
Yeah. True.
Hey, will you get me my matcha out of the fridge on the top shelf?
Okay, well, if you're going to put me to work, then I'll just stay in here.
Yeah, you can have some. of Coas. I just made it.
I see the machine out there.
Mm-hmm. Sherry says, hi, Sawyer.
Hi, Sherry. You want to leave it out?
No, if you would, but you know how I am. I need it cold, cold, cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started this one a little different in that I started in the middle. I'm breaking up the tradition of starting in the center. Let's see, where were we? It's so funny living in an RV. Like, when anybody moves, the whole house moves. I imagine it's kind of like living in a boat. Except for a boat's constantly moving, right? I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. Okay, back to the orange. I'm gonna adjust my paper here. Actually, I'm gonna do one of these. Sorry for moving it around so much, y'all. I actually have not been to the Pacific Northwest. I've just been south. I think I've talked about that before. So I do want to get up there. I especially want to see Oregon. But this campground membership that we have, there's several campgrounds up there that we can go to that's in within our membership. So we don't have to, basically we don't have to pay to stay there. We bought this membership. And so we can stay at any other campgrounds, which is really nice. Yeah, we could like go somewhere in color. Or just, hang out. Oh, and we would definitely do a stream. That would be hysterical, right? And we'll just sit down and we'll color a whole page at once, no matter what I say. Well, I don't know, Sherry. How long? How many sessions does it take you to color a picture? I'm curious. For me, it takes about 10. And I only know that because I started this channel. And so I see like how long it takes me to color things. Actual time as opposed to, like a month or whatever. You do a picture in 2 days. I feel like I could do that, but I don't know. Even with pictures I'm really gung-ho on and inspired to color, there's always a point where I don't know, I just like set it away. Like this one, it took me a month to color, and I really enjoyed coloring it, but it took so long. It's so beautiful, isn't it? I love it. I have to take a picture of it so I can post it on the internet. It's pretty windy out there, but I'll have to hold it down with some rocks. Alvaro's picture took you 4 days. I think myself out of coloring. Like, I think about it, and then I don't end up coloring. Like yesterday, I don't think I colored at all, but I thought about it. I wanted to. I wanted to finish that page so I'd be able to show it on the live stream as completed. And I want to post it. But I didn't end up finishing it. It's so nice outside that Sawyer went out there to go do stuff. We have what's referred to as the basement in the RV. It's a bunch of storage compartments, and we've got all kinds of stuff crammed in there that we probably don't really need. I'm kind of cleaning out. Before we head west. Oh yeah, it rained yesterday. There's water coming off the side of the RV right now. Oh, it's always funny when that happens. It collects on top of the slides. Which is probably not good. We should go out there with a broom and brush it off so it doesn't stay up there all that weight. Alright, so let's do a little switch up and go back to the blue. Where's our blue? Here's our blue. Make sure those are all in the frame. I think this is going to look really cool once it's done. I wonder, I'm trying to think like where I'm going to put like some kind of accent lines in here. What I want to stand out, I guess, is how I should think about it. I don't, even though I color, I don't have like that innate sense of where to put things to highlight, you know, to make things kind of 3D or... It's so simple too. When I watch people doing it, I'm just like, what? And then when I try to do it, I don't know. Sometimes it works. Usually the pictures that I'm like, oh my God, how is that possible? Like once I start looking at them, I see all the detail that goes into it. It's like, okay. I'd like to kind of kick my coloring up another level. I guess maybe I would put like lines on the inside of that, maybe on the inside of these circles to kind of make them stand out. Or would I put it on the outside? And I think what I'm going to use is, instead of like a darker blue, I'm going to use probably this red. Yeah. So I'm gonna maybe even just putting a red line up in here or on this part, kind of bring that out a little. But those are things that I'm thinking, and I'm gonna maybe watch some videos. What really helps me though, now that I've watched so many videos, is actually just looking at people's work after it's done and just, you know, deciphering their pen strokes basically. And it's so helpful when people that I'm, you know, I want to know how they colored whatever when they make videos. 'Cause sometimes I'm just like, that's not real. And you know, everybody probably enhances their pictures a little bit as far as, you know, brightening it up. Brightening the picture up if it's too dark because, you know, whatever your lighting situation. That's I brighten some of mine and then contrast a little when the colors get washed out. I try to make it look like what it actually looks like in real life. I don't want to mess with it too much though, because I don't, you know, I'm not trying to enhance my pictures or whatever and make them look better than they actually are. You use your blending for highlights. Yeah, I can't, it's one of the Mandela groups that I'm in. This gal posted a picture and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I wanted to kind of follow that, but I've already deviated from that a ton. But here is her picture. I don't know how well it comes up, but actually it doesn't come up very well at all, does it? Let me pop up that. It's absolutely stunning. And this was done with Stabilo 88. I should have saved when I took this screenshot. I should have saved what group this was in, because once I finished mine. But I mean, just looking at this, and I wanted to kind of use the same colors, and yeah, something similar to that was my inspiration. Back to orange. Let me move this over just a little. Sorry. Yeah, I look at what other people do a lot, and it inspires me to try to kind of come up with my own version of it, so to speak. I'd like to color something almost exactly like that to see if I can. But inevitably, something else happens. That's what's so beautiful about art, right? It comes out of all of us different. Even when you're trying to copy somebody else, it's difficult. Yourself will get in the way. And so probably what I'll end up doing with this piece is starting each ring maybe on camera and coloring it off, because it's hard for me to move on to the next thing until the one thing is done. Well, like obviously this is, you know, filling in this orange is going to take a bit. Maybe I could do like half of it. But I have to look at it wholly before I can decide where I want to put the next color. Yeah, after I, you know, thinking about my work in progress things, after I did that last video and showed them all, it actually had the opposite effect of what I wanted it to have. I wanted that video to kind of like call me to task. But it did the opposite. It was like, well, I showed it and, you know, I saw those. I don't really care to finish a lot of them. So she used yellow to highlight, used the neon colors a little bit. Yeah. And see, that was my first thing of was trying to like pull out the same colors that she used. Which I could probably go back to that post and ask her. But that's kind of part of the fun of it, right? Is trying to figure that out. I've seen so many people with these pens though that are, or the fine liners that are doing amazing things with them. So I've just been kind of playing around with them so far, like, you know, with that first picture, because I wanted to see how they operated. But now I'm kind of like, okay, I want to get a feeling out of this here. When I'm done and I post it, I want people to go, wow, like I did when I saw that picture. And that might take me a couple tries. That might take me a couple tries. I'm trying to think. Yeah. See, for me, like I said, I have to finish before I can see the other parts. So I got to color in all this orange here before I can, and then do the blue on top of it before I can come up with my next color. Yeah, she was using like chunks of the paper, you know, of the design to highlight, and as opposed to, you know, coloring little areas and highlighting within them or whatever. She was using like, you know, like a row or something of the paper. Really, really, really cool. I love seeing, you know, stuff like that that inspires me to try to up my game, do something different. I'm not really doing anything different with this just yet, but we'll see how it goes. It's actually been a pretty quiet weekend here, considering we've got a lot of people set up around us, but they've been really quiet. Saturdays typically tend to be a little crazier at this campground than Fridays do, though, so we'll see. Yeah, you don't need a lot. I can imagine that. I've noticed that too with certain things, like little itty bitty tiny things make a big impact with coloring sometimes. Ooh, I treated so bad on my fasting yesterday. I went to this market in Kentucky, because Cincinnati is in Ohio, but it's right along the northern Kentucky boundary, I guess, line, whatever state line. So it's kind of like northern Kentucky / Cincinnati is a whole thing. Um, you know what's really funny? I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh boy. So, never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. I think it was going to be a good story, but I forgot. That's too funny. I'm starting to get a little squirrely though. The lines are starting to move, so I can tell that my eyes are kind of getting mad at me. This might be the last that we do here. You were talking about cheat day on fasting. Oh, isn't that funny that my brain just shut off? Like, thank you for reminding me of that. That is hysterical. Literally, my brain was like, no, don't go there. Don't remind yourself of what you did. Oh, God. That's so funny. Anyway, yeah. So I used to live here for 2 years, and being an Uber driver, I come across all different kinds of things, but in gas stations and markets and whatnot. But anyway, so this market, it's a gas station as well as a market. It's called River Market, and they have cheap gas and the most amazing donuts. And I used to, whenever the main road is clogged, I take this back road, and that's what this market is on. And I've passed it several times since we've been back, but I haven't gone in because these donuts are like, they're very tempting and they're very addicting, and yeah. So anyway, Sawyer had we always talk about what gas stations are cheapest, and he was like, "Oh, you know, when you're going on River Road 8, there's that market there." And I was like, "Yeah, that used to be my old little stomping ground gas station where I'd go in there and I'd get a couple donuts. They have these apple cinnamon stuffed donuts that are just to die for." And so yesterday I stopped in there and I got 6, and I shit you not, like I ate them all. Like it was so bad. And I broke my fast to eat them. Like I don't normally, what I've been doing for the past month now, and I've lost 3 pounds. So that's exciting. It's not, you know, drastic, but it's working. But so what I've been doing is I've been eating for just a 6 hour time frame, and then not eating anymore. And my 6 hour time frame is usually from like 1 to 6, because that's easy to remember. But sometimes I mess up and I start eating at 11, or, you know, and then so I can't eat as late, whatever. So basically, I can eat for 6 hours, and then for 18 hours I don't eat. It's intermittent fasting, and your body just starts consuming the fat that it's stored. But so yeah, so yesterday I started eating at, I think it was right before 9, and I literally ate like 5 bites out of each of these donuts. I felt so bad. I brought him home to Sawyer, and I was like, oh. He had little bites out of each one. And then I finished them all last night. It was bad, but I'm back on track today. Hey, old school Dave. Donuts make me go nuts. Yeah, I definitely need to stay away from them. Anybody would love these donuts. They're so good. They're just like, they actually like make them there. They're fresh. They're not sitting out for long periods of time. They're just really good donuts. I'm telling everybody about my horrible, it's so funny. I started telling this story of that I cheated yesterday on fasting. And I started telling it, and then it just totally flew out of my brain. Like my mind was like, "No, you can't remember what you did."
Oh, really?
And,
started to talk about it,
and then I just completely forgot, which was a little embarrassing. And then Sherry was like, "You were talking about cheating on your fast." That's right.
Well, you got at least that out. So that you could...
But I was telling everybody about the donuts.
Oh, that was $4 for them.
Ah, see, and it's and it's contagious. See, so you're almost bought donuts today at Dunkin' Donuts. So, because I deprived him, I went and I was like, I want that one with chocolate icing and that and that and that and that. He doesn't really do a lot of icing. But then I walked out and I got in the car and I was like so excited. And then I started driving away and I thought, I did not get one donut for him. I got all these donuts for me without thinking about him at all. Which made me feel like a jerk. But then I thought, well, I'll just go back tomorrow and I'll get him some donuts. What I should have done instead of getting half a dozen was get a full dozen. But yeah, no, can't let that happen again. Because I want to keep losing weight. I want to be healthy. Let's switch back to the blue in case you guys hadn't noticed. I've been using this one a lot. I don't know if Stabilo sells individual pens or not. I hope so, because I have a feeling I'm going to run this one out sooner than the others. I used it a lot on my last picture too. How there's always like a donut place in every town you live in too. There was one in Kansas City. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Lamar's Donuts. And there would be, I kid you not, a line out the door and around the block for this place. They only opened on the weekends. Probably for that hype to be built up. I know they closed down eventually though, before I left Kansas City. There's a ton of bakeries in Cincinnati though. I see them all over the place. I try to stay out of them. Especially the Mexican bakeries. Those ones I'll get in trouble in. They're so cheap. You can get so much. It's really bad. Yeah, you have to treat yourself every now and then. It's true, Sherry. You don't have a lot of bakeries in the town you live in. That's probably a good thing. Donut hype. Is that a place? Or just we're hyping up donuts today? Are there healthy donuts? Like, is that a thing? Can that be a thing? Can we have healthy donuts? They'd have to be whole grain or something, though. No, what I've been doing with this intermittent fasting though is, I mean, it's just exactly, you don't have any bakeries, my God. Is I'm not to the point where I'm like modifying my diet, so to speak. So I'm still eating whatever the hell I want in that 6 hour time frame. But a typical day, I'm not eating a lot, so it's not like I'm going nuts or whatever. But so I don't feel so bad. Like Sawyer and I went out to eat at a Mexican restaurant, and um, normally I would feel bad, like doing that, but I didn't because it was like, this is all I'm eating today, so this is fine. And I was completely full. I don't like, I've tried to do diets where it's like you eat the top of a muffin and blueberries, and then you're allowed 10 almonds for a snack, 2 hour, it's like, these little things where you're basically starving yourself all day, but eating a little. And I don't, those have never worked out for me. I like to drink my breakfast and my lunch, and then I like to eat a dinner. So as long as I have a good protein powder, I think I'm good to go. If I have to take a multivitamin, I will, to supplement whatever I'm missing out on by not eating a lot. But like yesterday, granted I had my little donuts, but I hardly ate that much. Once I start, it's hard to stop me. I hold off as long as I can, usually until dinner. Yeah, and Dave, like T said that skipping breakfast was the worst thing you could do for your human body. So I that crosses my mind quite a bit. I think I've rationalized things by saying, well, I am eating a breakfast because I am having a protein powder mixed with water is usually what I do. I don't mix it with anything else, just water. And I drink that. And then I'm usually ready to eat, like I said, by 1 or 2, depending. This is gonna look so good. But yeah, that's how I felt when I was eating those donuts. It was like I felt like I was having kind of an episode, and like I shouldn't let that happen again. It's okay to have something every now and again, but 6 donuts in one day. I mean, it was over the course of several hours, but still, it's not good. Okay, I think we've been going for an hour, and this is what we've done. We've done half of it. And we've been using number 11 blue and number 30 orange from the Stabilos. I'll try and work on it. I'm usually still full from the night before. I think the intermittent fasting is a really good thing because yeah, you eat and you're full from that, and then your body is still like burning calories while you're sleeping, while you're not eating. So I think it's a good thing. You can eat for 6 hours and then you don't eat for 18. You can also do don't eat for 16 hours and eat for an 8-hour time frame. Yeah. But yeah, this is where we're at. I don't know why it looks crooked on the thing. I'm gonna off camera fill the rest of these in. I'll probably work on that today while we listen to things, Sawyer and I. And I'll come back not tomorrow but the day after, and we'll work on the next ring of things. So yeah, that's where we're at. And it looks good. Thank you, Old School Dave. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I always appreciate that. Dave, you didn't see that this was the one that I'd done before. It's almost done. I just had a little bit in the corners left to do. So that one gave me the color inspiration for what I'm trying to attempt with this one. I think it's going to be really pretty. Okay. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that.